Hello, hello, hello. I am your host OCL, and welcome back to One Century Later. Today we'll be taking a look at all events from March 7th to March 13th, 1926. As with last week, all of my sources are in the description down below. Sunday, March 7th, 1926. Elections were held in Argentina for 83 of the 158 seats in the Cámara de Diputados de la Nación. The Unión Cívica Radical lost 10 seats in the election, decreasing their total to 60 seats. The coalition of conservative parties gained 3 seats in the election, increasing their total to 43. Also on this day, the first wireless transatlantic phone call was made between Bell Laboratories in New York City and the British Post Office in London. The 4-hour phone call took place on the 50th anniversary of Alexander Graham Bell's patent of the telephone. With clear skies over the Atlantic, participants in New York said the quality of the call was on par with local calls, while participants in London said the quality was superior to what they were used to and far superior to using the transatlantic cable for transatlantic calls. Monday, March 8th, 1926. Following the collapse of France's government, a meeting between signatories of the Locarno Treaties took place in Geneva, Switzerland. It was agreed that Germany's entrance into the League would be delayed pending a new French government and a decision regarding permanent League Council seats for Poland, Spain, and Brazil. The League of Nations Council had 4 permanent seats: the UK, France, Italy, and Japan, and 6 non-permanent seats who were elected each year. Germany would become the 5th permanent member of the Council. In the meeting, Spain and Brazil, 2 nations who at the time held non-permanent seats, said they would vote against Germany's permanent seat unless they were also given permanent seats. Germany reiterated its belief that Germany would be the only new permanent seat in the Council, as stated in the Locarno Treaties. Discussion about the permanent seats would not begin until France's new government was created. Also on this day, the Crab Orchard Improvement Company No. 5 coal mine near Eccles, West Virginia, exploded, killing 28 of the 68 miners. A spark from a cutting machine ignited a pocket of gas, leading to the explosion. This was the second time the No. 5 mine exploded. The first time was in 1914, taking the lives of 186 miners. Tuesday, March 9th, 1926. Following the resignation of the government of France, Prime Minister Briand formed his 9th government with new cabinet members, while Briand continued as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. President Dumerguez approved the new government at 2 a.m. the following day. Also on this day, Bertha Ethel Knight Lands became the first female mayor of a major American city when she defeated incumbent mayor Edwin J. Brown for the mayorship of Seattle, Washington. The first female mayor in the U.S. was Susanna Medora Salter, who was elected as mayor of Argonia, Kansas in 1887. Wednesday, March 10th, 1926. The science fiction magazine Amazing Stories, launched by Hugo Gernsback, published its first issue with reprinted stories by H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, and Edgar Allan Poe. At the time, an Amazing Stories issue cost 25 cents. Thursday, March 11th, 1926. Following Tukojiaro Holkar III's February 26th abdication as the Maharaja of British India's Kingdom of Indore, 17-year-old Yashwant Rao Holkar II was crowned as the Maharaja. Also on this day, the Council of the League of Nations voted to award most of the disputed territory of the former Ottoman Empire's Mosul province to the British Mandate of Iraq, and to extend the British Mandate an extra 25 years until 1951. The territory would not be officially transferred to British Iraq until June 5th with the Treaty of Ankara. Also on this day, the Italian Senate passed legislation effectively banning labor unions in the name of capitalism. The bill, which passed by a vote of 139 for to 27 against, made all strikes and lockouts illegal, with labor magistrates put in place to solve disagreements between labor and companies. Eamon de Valera, the leader of the Sinn Féin political party in Ireland, resigned from the party after the Ard Fes General Assembly failed to pass by a vote of 218 for and 223 against a motion for the party to have representation in the Oireachtas, the bicameral parliament of the Irish Free State, and the Parliament of Northern Ireland. De Valera would leave the Sinn Féin party and form his own party, the Fianna Fáil, on May 16th with other members of the Sinn Féin who were opposed to the Ireland-United Kingdom Treaty. Friday, March 12th, 1926. Two Japanese destroyers were fired upon from the Taku Fort in China while attempting to enter the Pei River, now the Hai River. The exact reason behind the shots is unknown, however Japanese destroyers were headed directly towards the fort. 3 Japanese sailors were injured, with Captain Tsuji dying of his wounds 2 days later. An outbreak of measles, bronchial pneumonia, and peritonitis led to the deaths of 30 people aboard the Italian ocean liner Belvedere, which arrived at port in Buenos Aires, Argentina on this day after leaving port in Trieste, Italy. Nearly 200 passengers were affected, of which 30 died during the trip, being buried at sea, with the remainder being held in quarantine in Buenos Aires. And lastly, on this day, plans for the George Washington Bridge connecting Fort Lee, New Jersey to Manhattan were approved by the New York and New Jersey Hudson River Port Authority. The 4-lane toll bridge would have a single deck in the original design and was estimated at $50 million to be opened in 1933, however was completed ahead of schedule in 1931. Saturday, March 13th, 1926. Alan Cobham, a British aviator, completed the first flight from British South Africa to Great Britain, landing in Croydon, Great Britain, after taking off from Cape Town on February 25th. And that is all. See you all next week for all events from Sunday, March 14th, 1926 to Saturday, March 20th, 1926. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.